You are watching Influence Media, PSI TV, the Netflix of biz brands.
Kim Kardashian. We all know her, or at least have heard of her. She is that popular. Kim Kardashian is a prime icon of influential reach. So let us look at her story, her history, her rise, and let's pull from this 5 influence hacks from the rise of Kim Kardashian. Remember, we're all about influential reach. We're trying to help viewers of this content gain a competitive advantage. So let us look at the 5 influence reach hacks from the rise of Kim Kardashian. Hi, I'm Trudy Beerman of Influence Media PSI TV. Join me on this journey as together we build our influence and our reach. What we're going to be looking at today is the background of Kim Kardashian's rise to influence, what the Bible says, what academic research says, and then a deep dive into those 5 hacks, as I promised. This is a weekly live show on YouTube, as well as Facebook and LinkedIn. Join us if you can live. If not, watch it later. And comment below and let me know what part of the world you're watching this from and which of the 5 hacks resonated with you the most. A little background on Kim. The Kardashian name became a household name during the O.J. Simpson trial because Robert Kardashian, Kim's father, was a good friend of O.J. Simpson. And in 2003, Robert died, and that caused a news cycle to kind of shut down on mentioning the Kardashian names, but the familiarity was already there. Later, Kim Kardashian got her own personal fame started when she was on the Paris Hilton's A Simple Life show. But after that, a pornography tape was leaked where Kim was the feature, and she claims that that video was made when she was under the influence of the drug ecstasy. But television definitely is a definitive launch of the Kardashian name. And I want to really stress that, guys, because as you are seeking influence and reach, they're not the same. Influence, you can be influential in a very tiny pool, and then reach is like you're known globally, for example. Television is very instrumental in moving your message along. So television was definitely a platform that launched the Kardashians on the map. And the E! Network television series, Keeping Up with the Kardashians, was very popular for a very, very long time. Now, Kim also had a string of high-profile boyfriends. That didn't hurt, right? And in 2013, she and Kanye West had a child. And in 2017, Kim launched her beauty line, KKW Beauty and KKW Fragrance. And then in 2019, she launched the Skims Shapewear. Now, the Skims Shapewear is now a collaboration with the NBA as providing the official athletic underwear. So that's also a new thing for her. But Kim also gained additional fame when she had audience with the president and issued prison reform. Yes, she studied law, and she helped to commute the sentences of 17 first-time nonviolent drug offenders by funding a legal program devoted to the issue. So there's some things in that history that worked for her. I personally cannot and would not repeat. For one thing, her family name was already recognizable due to the situation with O.J. Simpson. Also, the string of very public, famous boyfriends, and then the porno activity. So from her story, there are some things that definitely helped with her popularity, her notoriety, her reach that may or may not be worthy of repetition. On Facebook, Kim has 35 million followers, but on Instagram, she has 364 million followers. This is important, guys. Kim has a presence on multiple social media platforms, and that is crucial. And if she wasn't on Facebook, she wouldn't have those 35 million followers. Sometimes followers will go over to other platforms, but there are some people who are only following on a particular platform. There's some people who have never been on Facebook, won't be on Facebook, and there's some people who are on Instagram that will never be anywhere else. Personally, I have a presence on Instagram. It's not very strong. Instagram, for me, I'm struggling with it, but I intend eventually to conquer Instagram. But guys, the multiple platforms allow us to have somewhat of the equivalent of a digital omnipresence. And this is an example here, but this also shows the depth of influence and reach that Kim has. She has the air of 364 million followers on Instagram and 35 million on Facebook, and who knows how many on other platforms. So let's see what the Bible has to say on the matter of influence and reach. In Esther 9, verse 4, it says, "Indeed, Mordecai was great in the king's house, and his fame spread throughout all the provinces, for the man Mordecai became greater and greater." Now, if you know this story, if you haven't, go back and read the story of Esther. But Mordecai was a Jew, and they were not in their own land. And he used to, be at the gate of the king's palace, checking in on his niece Esther, who he treated as a daughter because her parents died. And eventually Haman wanted to get Mordecai hung and get him out of the picture. And long story short, Mordecai became great, and then almost like second to the king throughout the provinces of that time. That story has so much in it to talk about ways to come to influence and reach, but I just wanted to introduce that to you. The Bible has a lot of stories on influence and reach. Here's another one. 1 Kings 10, verse 1. "Now when the queen of Sheba heard about the fame of Solomon concerning the name of the Lord, she came to test him with difficult questions." The queen of Sheba was in a whole other country at the time when there was no television, no social media, but the fame of Solomon got to her all the way over there, okay? Now in Matthew 4:24, the news about him, that's Jesus, spread throughout all Syria, and they brought to him all who were ill, those suffering with various diseases and pains, demoniacs, epileptics, paralytics, and he healed them all. So when you become famous, you get known for things, people are going to come and find you. Your influence can grow. Your reach can grow. There's so much here, but we'll unpack that at another time. Academic research, many of you may know, if you're following me at all, that I'm a doctoral candidate at Liberty University, and my research focus is in the area of influence or reach. So I am not just coming at this from the TV media side, guys. I am actively researching this from an academic perspective as well. So my shows bring to you the blend of real life experience and academic information. So that is one of the unique positions that my content brings to this arena. So this particular peer-reviewed document talks about the influence of television formats on the viewer's mind. Remember, television definitely was a huge component in the launch of Kim Kardashian as we know her today. This is a relatively new research, 2021. And it says, according to A. Kavalarov, 82% of responders admit that the most powerful influence on their value orientation is not the educational process, but television. Now, television, let's just say media, okay? So this study was looking specifically at television, but I'm going to say media. My daughter-in-law, for example, both her and her sister's purchasing decisions are almost primarily taken off of Instagram posts. And there are a lot of people who are like that. In fact, if I'm going to purchase something on Amazon, one of the first places that I go is to the reviews, because what others say definitely influences what we perceive about a thing, because humans are built for a herd mentality. We are like the sheep and like the cows and like the deer. We want to stay in packs. There is safety in that pack. So we do tend to congregate. We do tend to want to be in large people groups. And when you have influence and reach, you are able, like Kim Kardashian, to influence the value orientation of people. School is not doing it, guys. We're not getting our value orientation from school. We're getting it from media. You need to have a media presence. You need to be building your influence on media. Here's another research. All of this is from the same publication, just snippets. This is a 2022 peer-reviewed entrepreneurial influence and influential entrepreneurs, two sides of the same coins. Guys, this is two different situations here. You have the social media influencers, so they become entrepreneurs, because what happens is when you're a social media influencer, you start to earn money from advocating or being a brand ambassador or getting sponsored. So they are like accidental influencers. They weren't entrepreneurs. They're like accidental entrepreneurs. So we have the social media influencers. Their entrepreneur status might be an unintended and outwardly driven consequence of their prominence. So they get funded and all that. But the entrepreneurs like you and I, where we intentionally became entrepreneurs, it's a different process, because for entrepreneurial influencers and influential entrepreneurs are not the same thing. The first type refers to a social media user that becomes a social media influencer. So the social media influencer likes this sweater, and they're a user of the sweater, and they put it on and they talk about it. They become an influencer and people buy that thing. So they became an entrepreneur by accident. The second type refers to the traditional entrepreneur that becomes a social media influencer. So we can become influencers intentionally as entrepreneurs, and versus the social media influencer who becomes an entrepreneur. They're two sides of the same coin. So one of the 5 hacks that we can pull from Kim Kardashian's story, her rise to fame, is authentic storytelling. Now, Kim's authenticity was evident in her openness about her personal life, especially on the reality show. Now, Keeping Up with the Kardashians was a reality show. The cameras were following her all the time. Some of it may have been staged, guys, but the cameras are following her. So she shared her family dynamics, the relationship, personal struggles, allowing the audience to connect with her on a more personal level. A memorable instance is when she candidly discussed her difficult pregnancies and fertility struggles, which resonated with many women. Okay, so authentic storytelling is one of the 5 hacks we can pull from Kim's rise to influential reach. The second hack is diversification and adaptability. Kim diversified her brand by venturing into various industries. Her most notable expansion was in the beauty industry with the launch of KK Beauty. She saw the growing trends of beauty and makeup tutorials on social media and adapted by creating her own makeup line, leveraging her social media presence to promote it, thereby expanding her influence beyond just reality television. Now, a lot of us are entrepreneurs, want to use social media influencers to share our brand information so that our brand, will get sales and expansion. But Kim looked at what social media influencers were doing, became an intentional entrepreneur. She created her own makeup line, and she used her social media presence, which was already powerful, and used that to promote her brand. This is the entrepreneur who is intentionally using influence to promote their brand. This is what I'm attempting to do. This is what I'm encouraging you entrepreneurs to do. So while a social media influencer may be watching this content today, I'm more based on the demographics of my following. I can tell you that it is more entrepreneurs that follow me, people who have a brand that they're trying to grow, an author, a coach, a business owner, someone who has something on the in the market that they want to grow the influence and the reach of. They want to make more sales in. So I don't have as many social media influencers following me. I have the other side, the intentional entrepreneurs who are attempting to build their influence and their reach. Is that you? For sure, let me know in the comments, which of them are you? Are you a social media influencer who became an accidental entrepreneur? Or are you an entrepreneur who is intentionally trying to build your influence and your reach? Which one are you? I am the intentional entrepreneur who is building my influence and my reach. That's who I am. The next hack we pulled from Kim's rise to influence is her strategic use of media. Kim ran a 14-year stint on television. She's not needing television as much anymore, but she still is super popular, and her popularity was built initially on television. Now, Kim strategically uses Instagram and other social media platforms to engage her audience. She has carefully curated Instagram posts that showcase her lifestyle. So she's deliberately curating now what you see, her family moments, but she continues to attract millions of followers. She does regular updates, behind the scene glimpses, and endorsements, and she maintains an active presence that resonates with her audience. There's a lot here that even I can pull out. I don't do a lot of behind the scene glimpses. I try not to do endorsements. So even when I have a guest on PSI TV and I share their content, it does not automatically guarantee an endorsement. It is just a showcasing. So there are even things that I can consider doing with my brand to pick up off of Kim's strategies that she used. Which of these do you think you could also use for your business? So, I'm, like I said, she's big on Instagram. I have a presence there. I'm not really that big there. One of the things I'm doing is trying to build my presence on each platform through focus, because it truly is hard to do it well on multiple platforms. So I'm at 30,000 followers on Facebook right now. My YouTube was the next area that I've been focusing on. My channel recently got monetized. Before, my channel was just an ad hoc vomit of whatever videos I threw up there. But then I made a determined effort. So I am a little over 2,000 subscribers right now on YouTube, and I intend for that to grow, and just focus in and build, and then I can turn my attention to other platforms. So here are some other strategies that maybe you can pick up from Kim's rise. Here's another hack: resilience and handling adversity. Kim demonstrated resilience during a highly publicized incident in Paris where she was robbed at gunpoint. And after this traumatic event, she took a break from the spotlight and returned with a renewed focus on her safety and a more private approach to sharing her life on social media. Her ability to navigate this crisis and come back stronger reflected her resilience in the face of adversity. Now, I'm going to tell you guys, honestly, the moment you become more public, when your influence is lifted, when your reach is expanded, you're going to get some haters. It's going to come with the territory. I hate to tell you this, but this is a reality. There's really no way to have the wide influence and reach without gaining some haters along the way. There is a video that I put up that someone chose to comment underneath the video that I looked like the Geico cave woman, and my guest that I was talking to looked like the missing link. It was hard to read. And at the time when they posted that, there were 67 views on that video. And shortly after they made that negative comment, the video went to almost 4,000 views in a very short time. So, you have to build up some kind of emotional resilience to handle the negativity that can come with building your influential reach. It is gonna happen. And in Kim's case, what she did was she had a very traumatic event, because sometimes when you're that popular, you put a target on your back. It comes with the territory. You have to decide if it is worth it, if getting the additional sales, if getting your message out there at a wider reach is worth it, because it may put a target on your back. And then what Kim did was, after the trauma, she took a break and came back and put a new focus on how she was going to share that content with a focus of safety in mind. This was actually the post I was talking about, and here it is. So the Geico Cave Woman is doing interviews with the missing link. It comes with the territory, guys. What can I tell you? It just comes with the territory. Strategic branding and collaboration. This is another one of the hacks that made Kim rise. Kim has been strategic in branding herself and forming collaborations. Her collaborations with various brands, endorsement deals, and the success of KKW Beauty are a testament to her strategic branding. Additionally, her partnerships with different influencers and celebrities solidifies her status as a business savvy personality who understands the power of collaboration. Collaboration is huge. I found one of my first coaches because of a collaboration between herself and another leader that I was following. So collaborations are very huge. Collaborations are what happens when guests come on my television show, because they're basically borrowing my audience by coming on my show. It's a form of collaboration because they get exposure, and their audience, if they have any, will also be introduced to the PSI television brand. Now, usually, I'll just say this, a lot of my guests are startups. They are reaching out to PSI TV because they don't have that much personal branding. And by coming to PSI TV, which is one of the few platforms that will welcome guests that do not yet have influence and reach. I can't tell you, there are so many platforms, so many podcasts, the good ones, guys, will want that you already have some kind of social media reach before they're even interested in you. Now, I could take that same stance, but because I was exposed to that and I found the roadblocks of having my own appearance when I was coming up through the ranks, because these platforms were all, it was an experience where these platforms were also wanting to build their influence and their reach, piggybacking off through the collaboration with their guests. So it was a piggybacking experience. We both had an audience, and so by appearing on the other show, you're sharing an audience. The thing is that a lot of people do not yet have an audience, and so they are having a problem finding platforms that will receive them. And some of the startup podcasts, they have no audience of their own, and so when they go on these podcasts, they're inexperienced, they don't have a following. So yes, they get the experience of being on a platform, on a podcast, and that helps. It's not a waste of time, guys, because you're building up your own media portfolio, you're building up your experience of being interviewed by others. But so it's not a waste of time. But if you're really hoping to have some real projection of growth, of faster growth, you want to be on platforms that have an audience. So a lot of my guests, when they come to me, I understand they do not yet have an audience, and I still make room for them. So here are the 5 hacks in summary that we pulled from Kim Kardashian's story, her rise to fame: authentic storytelling, diversification and adaptability, strategic use of media, resilience and handling adversity, and strategic branding and collaboration. Which of these hacks are you going to implement in your business? Certainly, we can implement all of them, but maybe a good idea would be to pick one. Pick one, guys, and implement that. There's no point in hearing all of this and just walking away with more information. You all don't need more information. What we need is implementation of what we know. To know something or not do it, you're missing out. So pick one. Tell me in the comments which one of these strategies you're going to focus on right away to implement with your business, for your offer, for your book, for your message? Which one? I truly would love to know. And I do read your comments. I do respond. Trudy Beerman here. I am so glad to connect with you. We're really trying to help you have that competitive advantage. There are so many doing what you do, so many offering what you offer. And we are bringing this content to you to help you focus in on some of the strategies that even I am learning this for me to implement. I'm not just do as I say and not as I do. I am doing these things, guys. I am learning them through my academic exposure, through my lived experience of being a business owner, of collaborating, of having a show. But the important thing is to implement these things so that your brand stands out from all the many others who are not making this determined effort. Your next step, should you choose to do it, might involve, your next step, should you choose, is to be a guest on PSI TV. This is one great way to build your influence and your reach. Guys, guests on my show, they're going to have some serious digital footprint juice, because I've had guests that have had zero digital footprint. I Google them before the show, nothing comes up on page one. And after the show, after a few days, page one is littered with stuff that we have created. Now, some people have a stronger digital footprint, and so our content will still show up, maybe not necessarily on page one, but you are going to get digital juice from your presence on PSI TV. And depending on the package that you select with us, we will even guarantee you views to your show. So when you come on PSI TV as a guest, your content is automatically syndicated to 17 platforms. 3 television platforms: Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Vita TV. Then the content, the audio is pulled out and repurposed as a podcast and sent to multiple podcast platforms. And we also put you on our various social media platforms, YouTube and so forth. So that is definitely going to happen for you. And just being able to say that you are on TV is huge, because the jokers are not on TV, guys. Social media is free. The jokers are absolutely there. TV is not free, and the jokers are not going to make the effort to be on TV. TV continues to remain the platform that definitely says authority and credibility in your space. So television should be one of your platforms, and Kim definitely benefited from her 14 years on TV. What is the result of building influential reach? You're going to be the one that people want to hear from. You're going to be offered guest spots on stages, on podcasts, and more. Your name is going to be the first one that comes to mind for the thing you do. You'll be the obvious choice from the competitive pack. You'll be even recognized by people you don't know. You know how many people like, yeah, I know Trudy, we've never met, but they've seen my show. They've come, you know, they know who I am, or they'll go, you look familiar. Where do I know you from? And even if they've never met me, never seen my show, and I say, maybe you saw me on TV. Oh my gosh, guys, it is a huge icebreaker and launches the conversation in a whole new and very influential direction. And you will even be considered a celebrity and eventually paid as one. So if this content was of any value to you, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Trudy Beerman here. Super simple to find, and I do look forward to connecting.